professional boxing with all gay fighters. I call it Friday night sissy fights.
You know, when you look at the fighters today versus what you were doing in there, what do you think when you see these young guys in there mixing it up?
I think they're a bunch of sissies.
Oh, really? Yeah. And why is that?
They should be wearing purses and, you know, half of them paint their damn toenails. What the hell's that all about? You know, they should be putting on makeup and lipstick and prancing around, you know, in high heels. And they probably do it half the time anyways when they train.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. My grandfather always used to say, if you play with fire, you're gonna get burned. And it looks like the UFC might actually get burned for reigniting their partnership with the failing beer company Bud Light, with the most accurate headline being from the Babylon Bee, of course, the prophets of our time. To shed gay beer image, Bud Light partners with sport where sweaty men in underwear hug for 25 minutes. Oh, yeah, good. Yeah. I'll probably never drink Bud Light again. Well played, B. Well played, UFC. Will ungay Bud Light. Also, one match will feature fighters tucked under the same mat, and the audience has to guess if they're male or female. Perhaps the verb Bud Lighted will come to mean getting tied up or clinched. Haha, true. Haha, too much today. Makes sense now. This should not be on the Babylon Bee. Accurate portrayal. People are saying, let's go, baby. And nobody is saying that they're going to come back and drink Bud Light. Bud Light is the best beer ever. Oh, wow. Bud Light is the best beer ever. Okay. Well, this is probably a bot, I would argue. But what do I know? The dumbest move in marketing, aside from Bud Light partnering with Dylan Mulvaney, was the UFC accepting them as a new official sponsor. The UFC paid hundreds of millions of dollars for this sponsorship to be the official beer of the UFC. It's the largest sponsorship agreement in UFC history. So you have this like super hyper masculine sport, much like the NFL. Bud Light sponsored the NFL, and then Bud Light is sponsoring the UFC. Please, men, take us back. Please, men, take us back. You'll see Disney doing the same thing in the coming years. You'll see all of these brands doing the same thing. These same brands that betrayed their customers will come groveling on bended knee, doing embarrassing, placating things like this, pandering to men. You see the sweaty guys pounding each other? Think of Bud Light when you think of that. Bud Light is back. Robbie Starbuck saying, lighting that money on fire would have been less embarrassing than what's about to happen. Fighters are going to hate this. Fans will hate it. Customers aren't coming back to Bud Light, period. You made your bed. Now you sleep in it. Damages UFC brand. Puts the fighters in bad spots where they will speak out against it. Watch. Embarrassment awaits. And here we are. Boom. I love it when things happen instantly. UFC fans threatened boycott the sport after it was announced a $105 million a year Bud Light sponsorship deal. Supporters continue to fume at the beer company trans activist Dylan Mulvaney. So now the boycott has been called for the UFC. Wow. UFC's multi-million-dollar Bud Light deal worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Two organizations reunite after Bud Light was the sport's original beer sponsor decades ago. The renewed partnership has sparked outrage from some sections of UFC's dedicated community who believe Bud Light is trying to regain its previous reputation by returning to the spot. Its reputation is like a manly beer for working men. Now, why would you lose that? How could you possibly have lost that? How could you have lost that reputation of being the manly beer for the working man, right? For like your standard working class, middle America, middle-aged, middle class dude. How could you have lost? I don't know. I don't know. The mysteries abound. How could you have lost that street cred, Bud Light? I guess we'll never know. Dana White, of course, is defending this. Dana White's going to make a ton of money off of it, and the damage continues. I mean, again, this sponsorship costs Bud Light a lot of money. Bud Light's lost billions of dollars in its market share and its market cap. The fallout from the Brewers' previous partnership with Mulvaney caused evident irreversible damage, with some fans threatening to boycott the sport as well. Slamming the sport's announcement on X, critics said, I have been loyal to the UFC for 30 years. I will no longer watch or purchase UFC events. The deal with Bud Light is a deal breaker for me. Another viewer added, UFC announces Bud Light as its official beer in partnership with Anheuser-Busch. Boycott UFC. Go woke, go broke. You can see some of these responses here. Unfortunately, but I have to boycott UFC now. UFC, Dana White has lost my money and my viewership based on this. What a toxic brand. What an unbelievably toxic brand. And it's worth noting once again that Bud Light went out of their way to celebrate and to affirm Dylan Mulvaney with this can. How do you get a Bud Light can? I've never gotten a Bud Light can. How do you get your face printed on a beer can? Like, this is high level marketing stuff. Bud Light lied about this. This is a toxic brand, man. Their leadership is toxic. They've lied about this. They lied about the partnership with Dylan Mulvaney. They said it's one ad. It wasn't. You can go to Dylan Mulvaney's social pages right now, and you can find multiple Bud Light ads. They lied. They've lied this entire time. This was not some one small little campaign. This was a huge campaign run by a massive marketing company that was probably a 6 or 7 figure campaign that included Dylan Mulvaney. Bud Light loved this, and Bud Light hates you. Remember Alyssa Heinerstein? Remember, you're fratty and you're out of touch, okay? This is what in touch with your audience looks like right here. Right here. This is what in touch with your audience looks like. Here's Bud Light promoting this. Proud to announce, starting in 2024, we're back as the official beer sponsor of the UFC. Okay, how was this received? Well, it has 1,000 comments and it has 200 retweets. So it's immediately destroyed, right? People are tweeting. These are the responses before Bud Light, after one sip. RIP UFC. I guess UFC's way of saying they're trying to close up shop. Nah. Surprise, mother effers. Boy, that escalated quickly. It'll take you years to fix your reputation. This won't help. Please go away. Haha, no. UFC looking to lose business, I guess. No more UFC. Go away. They're just getting destroyed in the comments. Bye-bye, Dana White. Just destroyed in the comments. Dana White rips dummies upset over sponsorship deal with Bud Light. Listen, man, I like Dana White. Like, I've seen Dana White popping off on various news networks and news channels. I think he's probably one of the best sports executives to ever live or walk the earth. I think that's inarguable. But it doesn't mean he can't make mistakes. I think that this is probably a mistake. He's going to make a lot of money. But I think that's probably a mistake. UFC chief Dana White ripped into fans, upset that he has signed a $100 million sponsorship deal. That's the wrong way to do this. This is how Bud Light got in this situation. Dana, bro, don't attack your fans. Deal with transgender agenda pushing Bud Light, beer brand that suffered serious financial loss after teaming up with Dylan Mulvaney. This week, UFC announced Tuesday that it had chosen Bud Light as a sponsor for the next 6 years. $100 million deal. Wow. I didn't know it was 6 years. I knew that value, but I didn't know it would be 6 years. So Dana White saying effectively that he doesn't like his fans, asked growing controversy over his choice, while White struck back, characterizing his fans as dummies, a-holes, and effing stupid. Okay. Got it. White waded into the naysayers during comments on Power Slap 5 on Wednesday, TMZ reported. Wow. Rips UFC Bud Light sponsor critics. I'm not a sellout. Well, okay. Why are you sitting there with a Monster Energy drink? Why aren't you chugging a Bud Light? The article sort of goes and notes that this was what it used to look like. There used to be a big Bud Light logo in the middle of the sport. And then Bud Light decided to sponsor this instead. Bud Light sales still down 30% after Dylan Mulvaney disaster. Drinkers are lost forever. You can't lose 30% of your market, especially a company that with such scale as Bud Light. You cannot lose 30% of your drinkers. Bud Light overpays for UFC partnership in an attempt to win back conservatives. Yeah. So, this is one of our favorite writers at Outkick. Partnership with UFC is uniquely valuable to Bud Light. Beyond the promotion success, UFC is particularly popular among conservative sports fans, a base that turned on Bud Light earlier this year. The company is still reeling. But he goes on to say that they overpaid for it because this isn't going to work. UFC is the only mainstream professional sports league that leans to the right. No, NASCAR is not mainstream. everything else leans to the left, which is hysterical. Led by Dana White, the UFC is the only league to stay active at the height of the pandemic when Democrat leaders campaigned for lockdowns. Again, I like Dana White. I mean, Dana White has had the Trumps. I mean, the Trumps have gone to multiple UFC events. Kid Rock was at UFC events. Kid Rock was drinking a Bud Light at one of these UFC events. So maybe, I don't know, man. Maybe this has been a play all along. So anyway, I mean, like, we'll see. Will it play out in the ratings? Biggest sponsorship deal in sports history. Will it play out in the ratings? We don't know, but we don't think this is a smart way to market to your customer. This was a mistake. This was a mistake, and now they're paying dearly for it. Hundreds of millions of dollars. Now they're paying dearly for it. This was again, billions of dollars in lost market, hundreds of millions of dollars now, and trying to buy back us as customers. And what does that show you? We are powerful. That shows you that we are in charge, we are powerful, we are in control, and we should flex our muscles a little more on these fronts. You know what I mean? Right? Feel like a UFC fighter? You feel like we've actually gotten a takedown on this? All these organizations, all these woke corporations are now like slamming the brakes on. Like doing like an absolute reversal of this stuff. Because we showed one brand how powerful we are. Imagine if we did that regularly and then demanded better. I'm here for it. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe to keep the UFC fighting the good fight. See ya.